Hello, Lyric Services. Trisha Warner here with your Pilates work this week. Today we are talking about hip mobility. So our hip moves in many directions. It moves forward, back, out, across, external rotation, internal rotation, and we need to move the hip in every direction, especially for a healthy spine. So if our hips get stiff because we're sitting too much and we're not stretching enough, typically we end up straining our back by trying to do too much with our back when the movement that we need to find should be coming from our hip. So today we're going to move our hip in every direction. We're going to start with a quick little assessment. So you'll just need your foam roller for one thing. So if you don't have one, it's no big deal. We're going to start just sitting on the floor cross-legged. So if you can't get into this position, put something underneath you, either yoga blocks or a little step stool, but you can just sit right up on a box to get your legs open and into this position. And this is a very good modification because it allows your hips to open up and find this position of external rotation. So I just want you to assess how you feel in this cross-legged sit. Does your hip feel tight? Are you like, there's no way I can even get in that position, Trish? So see where you are. And then the next assessment is just a straight leg lift. So laying on your back, I'm gonna have you bend one knee. The other leg is straight out. You're just gonna lift that leg up. Normal range of motion is 90 degrees. I mean, as close as you can get to it. And I say that's normal, but most people don't have it. Very few actually do. So if you're like here and feeling your hamstring, you know this is work that you're really going to benefit from. And our bodies are designed to have a 90-degree, a straight leg raise, but very few people do. Okay, we're going to stay in this position and warm up our low back a little. So just because we're focusing on hip mobility today doesn't mean you're not going to get a full body movement practice here. So we're going to start with a little bit of low back work. We're going to exhale as we take the curve out of your back, bringing your low back down to the mat. Inhale, rock your pelvis forward, coming into a little arch of your low back. Exhale to rock the spine down. Inhale to rock it forward. So just keep going nice and easy. You can let your head move if it feels like moving. You can just feel the amount of motion that you have and appreciate it. It should be pain-free like everything we do in Pilates. It should feel good. Good, now I'm gonna have you stop right in the point in the middle. So you're not arched and you're not pressed. Hold it there, that's your neutral spine. We're gonna float one leg up into tabletop, keep it, float the other leg into tabletop. Hands come to your knees. You can kind of relax your knees a little bit now. And we're just gonna circle our knees around. We're just gonna open them up away from each other. And then we're gonna circle them the other way. Let's get these hips moving a little here. And now they're gonna stay together and you're gonna circle them in the same direction, which is actually moving your low back. And you're gonna switch and go the other way. So I didn't mention, in addition to the foam roller, you need your long TheraBand. And if you don't have one, you can use a strap of any sort, an old tie, a belt from your bathrobe. So it doesn't have to be stretchy. We're gonna put it under the bottom of one foot. And then stretch that leg up to the ceiling. So if you have a stretchy band, you can go ahead and stretch it a little. If you don't, just hold it so that your arms are gonna be allowing for the increased distance here. So this is gonna assist us with our straight leg raise. You're going to pull your leg down to the mat and then float it back up. So get a nice stretch. If you didn't have a stretchy band, your arms would just go with it, okay? Like this. If you have a little click or a little pop in your hip, but it doesn't hurt, I would encourage you to keep doing it. If you do have a painful hip, then don't do it. Send me an email, triciafinch@hotmail.com. Let me know what's going on, and I'll help provide you with some modifications. Pause here. We're going to float the leg out to the side, out to a little V, and then bring it across. So we're just opening that leg up, stretching it long. Back stays relatively still. 2 more here. And last one. Good. Pause here. We're going to take the band off of our feet, or whatever you had, and we're going to get the lower leg in here. Flex and point the foot. So we're going to stretch our calf and move our ankle, get some blood flow pumping up from the feet. If you've been sitting already today, this is really important. Get your feet moving. And last one. Good. And if this is hard, you can hold behind your leg too, if this is a little too strenuous on your hip flexor. So up to you. Bend your knee, draw it in close to your body. Give it a good squeeze. If you can, you can stretch this other leg out long on the mat to intensify the stretch. Hold it there. Take 2 breaths. Let's give that hip flexion a little bit of a stretch here. Draw it in as close as you can. It's a good, safe stretch. Good. Bend the other knee back up. We're going to cross this leg over the other leg, and we're going to lift that foot that's on the floor off the floor. If you feel a stretch here, stay here. If you don't, lift that foot off the floor. Cradle the knee that's up and closer to you, and draw it up towards your heart. Bring it towards your heart. You'll feel a nice stretch in the back of the hip. Pause here and take a breath. If you don't feel a stretch, move a little bit more. You could also try bringing it towards your opposite shoulder. That will intensify the stretch. We don't need to pull hard though. Just get it to the point where you feel it. And stretch that foot down, put that leg down. Let's switch and do the other side. Go ahead and put the bottom of your foot in the band. Stretch the leg all the way up. Good, keeping neutral spine. So, well, you know what? I'm not gonna be too picky about that. If your back rounds, it rounds. Let's focus on getting the hamstring length, okay? Stretch that leg down to the mat and float it back up. And again, stretch it down, float it up. See if you can find a little more freedom of movement as you progress through the repetitions. And kind of be aware of where you feel it. Is it the hamstring closer up to your pelvis? Is it behind your knee? It's nice to know where the tightness is, because then you can kind of direct your movement there. Open your leg out to the side into a little straddle, and then bring it across your body. Again, we don't have to go far with these. Go to the point where you feel it. Then you know you're being beneficial. You can always change muscle tightness and tissue tightness. You can't, no one can get to the point where they're too stiff to stretch. You can always benefit from stretching. You can always increase mobility. I have increased mobility with people who have severe contractures, and textbooks say you can't increase mobility because the joint is contracted and there's no reversing that. And guess what? With gentle stretching, heat and stretching, we've found more mobility. So we can change it at any stage. So don't get discouraged if you're feeling tightness. Stick with the program. Flex and point the foot now. Stick with the program and you will see an increase in mobility. Consistency is key. And listening to your body. Again, if you want to hold the leg, if this is hard to hold it up, hold the leg. You could also put the band around your leg if you can't reach it that well. And flex and point. So appreciate the motion that you have, even if it's a little bit, because a little bit's better than nothing, and we can build on that. And last one. Good. Let's draw that knee in close to our body. Give it a nice hug. If you want to increase the stretch, go ahead and straighten the other leg out long on the mat and take a breath or two. Good. Bend that knee back up. We're going to cross the leg over like you're just, sitting on the couch crossing your legs. And let that knee open up. Feel a nice stretch behind the hip. If you don't, lift that bottom foot up. There it is. Grab that knee and gently draw it towards your heart. Take a few nice deep breaths here. foot down, uncross your legs. All right, we're getting the back body turned on now. So we're gonna work those glutes a little bit. Arms long down by your side, neck is long, shoulders are down away from your ears. Spine is in neutral, so remember that little tuck and roll that we did in the beginning? Find that middle point again. You're gonna inhale to prepare. As you exhale, press into your feet and just hinge your hips up and away from the floor. We're coming into our bridge. And inhale on the way down. Exhale, press up again, 2. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift, 3. And 4. Breathe out as you lift, 5. 6. 7. 8. Let's do 2 more. 9. And 10. Okay, back body's on. Femur arcs. So we're gonna get our hip flexors now. So these are the muscles that lift your leg up. We're gonna keep that neutral spine, lift one leg up to what we call tabletop. Hip is in 90, knee is in 90. We're gonna lower that leg down, barely touch the mat and lift it back up 10 times. 1. And 2. 3. Common cheats with this one. 4 are people kind of bend your knee more. 5, so they don't have to move their hip as much like this. 6, keep that knee at 90 degrees. So you're reaching that toe out a little bit. 2 more. It's much harder, right? We're increasing that lever load and increasing the demand on that hip flexor right there. Bend your knee, put the foot down. Same thing, other side. Center yourself. Find neutral spine. Hold it there. Lift the leg up to tabletop. Lower and lift 1 and 2. Taking care of your hip is the cure for many ailments. With the spine, with the knee, with your feet. I mean, the hip really affects everything. If you don't have mobility and stability and strength in that hip, you can really get this negative chain reaction up and down the whole body. Last one. And put that foot down. Great. We're going to move our feet wide off the mat, as wide as you can. Not as wide as you can. Just to the edge of the mat, okay? In that range, as wide as you can. Arms are going to come out to a T. We're going to move one knee down towards your opposite foot. So it may not go all the way down. I want you to keep your pelvis glued to the mat. So we're not lifting this hip up, not yet. All right, we're just getting a little hip internal rotation. So allow that knee to move down towards your opposite foot, towards the mat, and then bring it back up. Go over to the other side. So keeping this one nice and still, just rolling that other knee in and up. We're just gonna do 3. It's a powerful stretch. And a couple years ago in PT Journal, they did a study which connected a increased incidence of low back pain in people who lacked hip internal rotation, which is what we're doing right now. So if you lose this motion in your hip, it's much more likely that you would develop back pain. So let's keep it. Let's keep the motion we have and build on that. Pause right here. Now we're gonna bring your arms are still out to the side. Now we're gonna let that hip lift up. So bring both knees over to one side, let the hip lift up, roll onto that other side, and now we're stretching more of our back and our hip flexor, yeah. And bring your knees back up, switch to the other side, let that whole lower body just roll with it. And come back, and again, roll, and back, and roll. Now we're finding some motion, right? And back. Good. Bring your feet back in. Hands come behind your head. We're going to come into your basic chest lift. You're going to exhale as you lift your head and shoulders up. Inhale to come back down. Keep a little space under your chin, about the size of an orange. You know, the fruit. 4 and down. And 5. 6. Breathing out as you come up. 7, 8, 2 more, and last one, 10. Good, we're gonna keep our feet together for this one.
and open the knees up a little bit. So the inside arches of your feet are pretty close to each other. Arms are going to come down to 45 degrees. Knees are going to be a little bit open, as if you were holding a basketball between your knees, okay? And now we're going to rock the pelvis a little bit. So we're going to rock your hip from side to side. So we're going to rock to one side, rock to the other, keeping that little V, okay? And then we're going to add to it. So now, the next time you come towards me, you're going to rock onto that hip. Let this bottom knee that's closer to the mat open up to the floor. So now we're opening up into external rotation, the opposite of what we did before. And as you let that knee come down to the mat, you're going to move this opposite hip forward a little bit. So we're coming into a little bit of a press off that opposite foot. You'll get the hang of it, all right? Rock to the other side. Let the knee closer to the floor open up. Lift that other hip away from the floor and come back. So we're going to get a little rhythm with this. We're going to rock, 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 open pelvis forward, and rock, 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 pelvis forward, and rock, 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 bring the hips forward, and rock, rock, rock. Last one here. Fantastic. Turn onto your side. We've been there long enough. We're going to start on our side, on our elbow, and your legs are straight. If this is a hard position for you, bend your bottom knee. Otherwise, keep it out straight. Pull those abs in. Lift your ribs up away from the floor. We're in a nice supported position here. If this is too hard for your upper body or your back doesn't like it for whatever reason, come down on the floor here, okay? We're going to do the same exercises. All right, this is just a little bit more challenging. Lift that top leg off the bottom leg and lower it back down. And lift two. We're getting some weight bearing in our shoulder and some now strengthening work here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great, lower it down. We're gonna bend the top leg up and over the bottom leg. See if you can get your foot on the floor. If you don't quite have that mobility yet, just slide it down here a little bit, but bring it up as close as you can if you have this motion. Press that elbow into the floor. I found myself slumping a little. Push down. Lift the bottom leg off the floor. It's hard. You may get an inch. That's great. 2, 3, 4, 5, but you feel those muscles working. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Come all the way down. Bring your arm under your head. You're going to bring your knees up like you're getting comfy to go to sleep, but don't. All right. Top hand is up on your hip. Feet and knees are together. You're going to lift the top knee off the bottom knee and lower it back down. Lift it back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holy hip, 10, right? Now we're going to take this leg into a little pedal. So we're going to, like you're pedaling a bike. It's kind of fun. 2, 3, 4, 5, pedal backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Bend this knee. See if you can grab your foot or ankle with your hand. And then the bottom leg can kind of straighten out. We're going to come into a little quad stretch. You're going to grab your heel, draw it towards your rear end. And if you can't grab your foot, then just bend the knee until you get a little stretch in the front of your thigh. If you can reach your foot, you're going to bring your knee down towards your other knee and come into a little bit of a quad stretch here. If this hurts your knee, don't do it. Send me that email. Let me know what's going on. I am very good at modifying exercises. And bring it here. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to do it another way. Push yourself up. We're going to switch to the other side. Get a drink of water if you need it. Hydration is really important. We've talked about that. All right, so up on your elbow if you can. Top leg is straight and strong. Lift it up. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bend that top leg over the bottom leg.
See if you can bring that foot up a little closer to you. All right, and lifting the bottom leg up and away from the floor. Holy cow, that's hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our hip is supposed to move this way though. 7, 8. If you can't get it to move, you're still activating the same muscles with the intention of moving. Come all the way down. Let's find that comfy position on our side. Bend your knees up, top hand to your hip. Clamshell exercise. Lift the top knee off the bottom. Feet stay together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Come down. We're going to bicycle. Go ahead and pedal forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pedal backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Rest that leg down. And let's come into our quad stretch. Go ahead and grab your foot and ankle. Stretch that leg back. Straighten the other one long. And go ahead and draw it towards your rear end till you feel a good stretch through the front of the quad, and pause. That should do it. Flip over onto your stomach. We're going to be up on your elbows if that's an okay position for you. So your neck is long, shoulders are down. Your lowest ribs of your rib cage are down on the mat and your chest is lifted. We're going to bend one knee up. So go ahead and bend it up. 1 and 2. Straighten it out. Now pull your abs up a little bit away from the floor. Think about lightening the pressure of your stomach on the mat. And then lift that straight leg off the floor, hovering it for a moment before setting it back down. Switch to the other leg. Let's go. 1, 2, straight and lift and lower. Other leg. 1, 2, straight and lift and lower. Alternate. 1, 2, straight and lift and lower. Lift it. 1, 2, straight and lift and lower. 1, 2, straight and lift and lower. 1, 2, and lift and lower. Last 1, 2, straight and lift and lower. Very good. Lower your shoulders halfway towards the mat. Arms are going to float up away from the mat and come down by your side. Palms are facing the floor. Still keep that tummy light on the mat as we pump these arms up and down 50 times. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 3, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Push yourself up into quadruped. So you're on your hands and knees, but we're going to quickly come down to our forearms. So your elbows are under your shoulders. Now for this triceps press, the further you lean forward, the more challenging it is. So if you know this is going to be hard, just sit back a little bit into your hips. And if you want more of a challenge, lean forward. You're going to lift your elbows up, coming onto the palms of your hands and lower back down. If you don't feel the back of your upper arms by repetition 5, lean forward. 3, 4, I feel it. 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. All right, we're gonna come up onto our hands. That got our arms going, yes. Tuck your toes under. Let's get a little stretch in the bottoms of your feet. And then we're gonna float the knees off the mat just an inch. That's it. Press into your hands. Pull your tummy muscles in. Push into the balls of your feet as you float your knees 1 inch up. That's it. And down. 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very good. One hand behind your head. You're going to inhale and rotate your shoulders in the direction of that arm. So we're opening up. Oh, I'm tight today. Exhale, rotate elbow to elbow. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last one.
Ooh, I may have to come back to that one and do another set. That is not my normal range. Must have been the way I slept. Hand behind your head. Inhale, open. Exhale, rotate elbow to elbow. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Last one. And come back down. We're going to kick one leg out to the side. So bring it straight out. You're resting your foot on the inside arch of your foot. And you're just gonna lean back and forth a little. Back and forth. 2 more. It's a good inner thigh stretch. Bring the knee back in. Switch to the other side. Get the foot out next to you. Resting on that inside of the foot. In and out. Very good. We're gonna come down into child's pose. Reach your arms long, sit your hips back. Come all the way down with your chest. You get a nice roundness in your spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Very good. You can grab your foam roller. We're going to sit on it and do a little hip stuff here and spine. So the first thing that we'll do is sit on your foam roller, but make sure you have your balance. I don't want you rolling back off of it. So keep your feet flat. You can put your hands here. Make sure you find your sits bones right up on top of the foam roller. Make sure you have your balance. Arms are out to the side. We're gonna inhale, side bend. Find the foam roller with that bottom hand as you stretch the top hand up and over. Good, and switch and go to the other side. Good, see, I told you we would focus on the hips, but we wouldn't miss anything. So you've moved your back in every direction. We've activated our arms, we've activated our core. You can always follow one of these 30-minute sessions with another clip if you're like, oh, you know what, I really could go for some ab work. Float back to one of my previous videos called abs and do a little double header here if you have the time. If not, I'm grateful that you're getting this 30 minutes in. It's crucial for your overall well-being. All right, so we're gonna just roll our hips a little bit here. So find the floor with your hands behind you. And now you're gonna keep your feet together and rock your knees over to one side. And you're just gonna roll the foam roller underneath your rear end and find just a little tender spots and roll that tension out. Good, bring your knees up, go over to the other side, same thing. Rock it out. Fantastic. And we'll kind of roll ourselves all the way to the floor. Come back to those little self-assessments we started with. So let's come back to our crisscross applesauce sitting here and see how that feels. How do your hips feel now in sitting compared to when we started? Hopefully better. Hopefully you notice your knees are a little closer, or it's just easier. You could switch and do the other way and see how that feels as well. So it's just nice to kind of see the improvement after just moving for 30 minutes. Hopefully you're sitting a little taller, feeling a little better. Let's recheck the straight leg raise. So come down onto your back and straighten one leg out, and then float that leg up to the ceiling and see where it is. Is it better than it was? I'm sure it is. It has to be. Stretch it out. It may not be normal, which very few people are normal. Try the other leg. See how it feels. It's gonna feel tight still. I mean, I have normal range, but it still feels tight. It's just a good way to assess where you are and where you need to get to, right? So we're gonna finish with a roll down. So come up to standing with me and maybe a couple squats, the ultimate hip strengthener. Standing nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Round your upper back, your mid back, your low back. Lower yourself all the way down. Feel a nice stretch. Inhale. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, rolling back up one vertebrae at a time until you're standing nice and tall. Let's move right into our squat. So feet hip width apart, standing nice and tall, abs engaged, arms down by your side.
You're gonna sit back as you bend your knees, come into your squat and stand back up. And go 2, 3. This finishing with these squats will just energize you to get back to the rest of your day. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great job, everybody. Keep up the good work. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.